I'm going to show you how to use Python to iterate through a string. And we're going to do this two different ways. We're going to do this to look at one letter at a time, and then we're going to look at one word at a time. Okay, so consider the string. We've got S is our string, and we're going to say this is that and the other. Okay, so rather nondescript sentence, and if I were to print that out, it's going to show me the entire sentence here in my output. Now, if I want to iterate through it, I can go for C in S. So S is the name of my string, and C is going to be a variable that takes on the individual items within that string. And let's just see what it gives us here. So I can print C, and I'm going to get rid of this here. So now you can see one line at a time, it's printing the individual letters from within the string. If instead I wanted to print the individual words from within the string, I would say L1, so that's an L and a 1, not an 11, equals S dot split. And that's going to split up that string into a list. So just before my loop, let me just show you what that gives us. So if I was to print the string, it's going to give us the string as it was. And now when I print the list, you can see that the individual words from that string were put into a list as list items. Now when I iterate through my list, so if I go for W in L1, it's going to print one word at a time instead of one letter at a time. So again, let me show you how to get one letter at a time. If I go for C in S, print C. That gives me one individual letter at a time. And then as I go for W in L1, that's going to give me one word at a time. So let's say I wanted to modify certain characters. So let's say I want a program that's going to take in a sentence and then it's going to change all of the S's to dollar signs. So we're going to write a program that changes the S's to dollar signs. So I've got a sentence here that contains some S's, and I've got a loop here that's going to look at one letter at a time. So I'm going to construct a new sentence. I'll call it S2, and I'll just make it a blank sentence. And now within my loop, if my character is a lowercase s, or my character is an uppercase s, I'm going to add a dollar sign to my new sentence. And if it's anything else, I'm just going to add the character to my new sentence. So S2 is an empty sentence, and as I iterate through my given sentence one character at a time. If that character is either a lower or uppercase S, it's going to add a $ to my new sentence. Otherwise, it's going to add whatever character it was looking at from that sentence to it. So at the end of this all, let's print our new sentence. So as you can see, we've taken every S and we've turned it into a $. And if I have a capital S, it'll catch the capital S as well. Let's say I wanted to look at one word at a time instead, and I wanted to reverse the words. So let's write a program that reverses each word in a sentence. Okay, so here I've got a sentence, and I'm going to create a new sentence. And instead of looking at one character at a time, I want to look at one word at a time. So I'm going to split this into a list. So I'm going to say list1 is equal to s.split. And if I don't put anything in here, it'll split it on the empty space. So now when I go for W in list1, let's just print W so you can see. W is going to take on the value of the individual words from within that list. Okay, so let's say I want to reverse them. If in Python, if you go like this, and I'll explain that after, that will reverse the individual words. What it's doing is it's looking at the word as a list, and it's saying start at the beginning and at the end and step through it backwards. That's why it's reversing them. So I can, at this point, make my new sentence S2, add to it the reversed word, and then I think I'll add an empty space right after as well. So now it's reversing each individual word, but not reversing the whole sentence. If I wanted to reverse the whole sentence, I would apply the same thing, but to the entire sentence, as opposed to making a loop and looking at the words one word at a time. See the difference here?